Once again, we are going to show you these live pictures of Blair House. We are waiting the departure of Donald Trump and Melania Trump. They had just spent their last night in Blair House. This is right across from the White House. They're going to be heading to church, St. John's Church. They're going to be attending a service there that'll begin their morning. The couple is running about 25 minutes late or so. We've been waiting their departure now for some time, but this is the beginning of what is going to be a long, but certainly going to be a very exciting day for Donald J. Trump and his wife, Melania Trump. We're going to keep these live pictures up and see if we can get a glimpse, the first glimpse of the morning of Donald Trump. And we do see some movement there, it looks like, from the Secret Service. Now, Mr. Trump did speak last night after TikTok restored service to more than 170 million American users after a 14-hour shutdown on Sunday. He's vowing an executive order to delay the ban until a buyer can be found, while saying, well, there's Vice President-elect J.D. Vance. Just want to put that on your screen. We're going to keep these live pictures up, but we're talking about TikTok because now what Mr. Trump said yesterday is that the U.S. should own at least 50% of the app. Some Republican lawmakers demanding a full divestiture to safeguard Americans' data. One of my next guests is putting a $20 billion cash offer on the table for TikTok as we, again, watch these live pictures. Alongside former Dodgers owner Frank McCourt, I want to bring in O'Leary Ventures Chairman Kevin O'Leary and Chairman and CEO of both United Refining Company and Red Apple Group, John Katsimatidis. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me. Again, we're looking at all these live pictures. We just saw Vice President-elect J.D. Vance and Usha Vance enter into St. John's Church. We're going to be watching for that service. But Kevin, got to start with TikTok with you. Your reaction to TikTok going down, coming back up, and can you give us an update on where you are in your negotiation with ByteDance?
Well, we haven't had any negotiations with ByteDance because, as Lindsey Graham posted last night, the senator put out some pretty interesting news. There's something called a secret golden share that every Chinese company has to issue to the CPP leadership. That's Xi himself. And it turns out that ByteDance can't negotiate anything unless he's made a decision. The secret share is a veto power over all other shareholders. They do not have any rights once the secret share has been issued. So now we're dealing with what to do with the secret share, because until Xi decides what's going to happen, it doesn't matter what shareholders think or the CEO or any of the management. It's irrelevant. It's the secret golden share that determines the fate of TikTok now. Regarding Trump's extension, I think what's happened overnight is that both the Biden administration and the Trump administration have told the service providers, Akamai and Oracle, that they will not impose the fines until this extension issue is resolved, because right now they're being fined well over $1 billion an hour if they were being imposed. That happened at midnight last night. Clearly, they're still up because they have assurances. Now, regarding the 90-day extension, that unfortunately is not provided for in the law as it stands today. That went away last night at midnight. So we're going to have to get an amendment to the actual order, the congressional order, the bipartisan order, to allow for this new extension. And I'm assuming the Congress will work with the president, and then this 90-day extension can be put in place. But it's really all about the secret golden share now. And by the way, every Chinese company that's listed in the U.S. has a secret golden share, and that's what raised the ire of Senator Lindsey Graham. This is a big problem going forward.
Well, and I'm glad you mentioned the legal perspective, because we heard from Senators Tom Cotton and Senator Ricketts yesterday about the legal side of this and saying the law risks ruinous bankruptcy for any company who violates it. But now that the law has taken effect, there's no legal basis for any type of extension on the effective date. And again, Kevin, as you can see, I'm sure on your screen, we're watching these live pictures as President-elect Donald J. Trump, who's about to be the 47th president of the United States today, just now exiting his SUV along with Melania there at St. John's Church for the church service. We're going to keep these live photos up. But Kevin, I do want to get your reaction to this, because one of the things that Donald Trump said last night was government ownership. If it's a 50-50 proposal, 50% ownership, is it the government or a company that's going to own 50% of TikTok in this new proposal from President-elect Trump?
Yes, I heard that as well. And sometimes, as we know with the president, you've got to distinguish the signal from the noise. He's very bombastic, and that's a very interesting idea. Unfortunately, it's not provided for in the law. The law is very specific that there can be no Chinese ownership. However, Trump could appeal to Congress to modify it, and that would, again, have to go back and be an amendment to allow a 50% ownership with China. But the problem also to deal with is the order last Friday from 9-0 decision from the Supreme Court. They further defined what's permitted in terms of the Chinese technology. There's 5 billion lines of code, Chinese code, inside of TikTok. That's how it's used to garner, gather, and distribute information on American users to the Chinese CPP party, which is what this whole thing was about in the first place. That's why we're at where we're at. We're trying to avoid this spyware issue. And so that we're not allowed as buyers, or any buyer, to use any of that code. It's just forbidden in the law. So you also need the Supreme Court. You got to make a lot of changes to go to a 50-50 partnership, including the original act, including the Supreme Court decision. I think that's going to be challenging.
Kevin, I think the other thing, I mean, you're talking about the algorithm. Have you gotten any indication that ByteDance would be willing to part with the algorithm?
Every indication, every messaging, because remember, we're dealing with the secret golden share now. We don't simply have a directive unless the owner of the secret golden share is willing to discuss it. And so far, it's been a narrative between Trump himself and Xi. And so I don't know if the golden share owner, Xi, is going to put any parameters in place for any buyer. So, I mean, we're as far as I know, we're the only buyer that's papered an offer that is in the hands of the shareholders and the owner of the secret golden share, Xi himself. And so, because the secret golden share is a veto power, it's going to be whatever he decides or whatever he negotiates with Trump. And it's Trump's deal now. As of 12:05 today, it's his deal. So whatever he tells us, we're going to have to execute on. We're going to do it. I mean, we're the buyer right now of record. There may be another one I don't know of, but right. If the secret golden share decides to sell, I think we'll be the first to know about it.
All right, Kevin, you know, today, of course, is Inauguration Day. President Trump's going to be sworn in as the 47th president of the United States. He returns to the White House another 4 years. Things begin around 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. The swearing-in happens at noon, as you just mentioned. Now, the president-elect has vowed to make sweeping changes through a series of executive orders. John Catsimatidis, come into this. How do you think that these executive orders are going to impact the economy, in particular, the move on energy?
I think it's going to have a very positive move on energy as energy prices fall. The Red Sea is going to be opened. The Suez Canal is going to be opened. And as they are opened up, guess what? The price of gasoline goes down, the price of diesel fuel goes down, and guess what? The price of food goes down. Once the price of diesel fuel and gasoline goes down and food goes down, well, no inflation. You might even have negative inflation because of that. And what happens? Interest rates are going to go down. And I think it's going to be a very, very positive effect on the economy. And everybody's looking up to that. And I think the Powell from the Federal Reserve and our Treasury Secretary has done everything possible to make President Trump look bad. And but as of 12:01 today, there's a new sheriff in town, a new president, and I believe that people are going to be very, very optimistic worldwide, not just the United States, that things are going to be in a positive way.
John Catsimatidis, Kevin O'Leary, gentlemen, a pleasure to have you both on with me this morning as Inauguration Day officially kicks off and is underway. Gentlemen, thank you so much.